We're gonna call our meeting to order. We're gonna open it up to public comment. Don't see anybody? All right, we're gonna move to approving the minutes of the September 26, 2023 meeting. Any questions, comments, concerns on those?
I move that they be approved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, then we're gonna receive the report from the library director.
So a couple of other notes in addition to what's on here. Linda went to National Night Out that the police department sponsored on last Sunday afternoon. We did get a nice thank you note from them for participating.
Oh, yeah, I saw her there.
And Susie went to the fire department open house and had a table there.
Oh, I saw her there too.
And I know they're partnering with Ashton for some Christmas activity, and I don't remember what the date is, in December. And they're also still working on how the library's gonna be involved with Dickens. So whether it's gonna be in a parade, I don't think we're doing a window, because a window is too much work, but just trying to figure out what staff have time for and what works best for visibility. So, staff started dismantling the security gates today, so one half is already gone. People were tripping over it because it always had the cord across, and so they just noticed more people tripping over it. And I guess a few people have said that because they think we have security, they won't come here because it makes them uncomfortable coming in. And they've been turned off for a long time now. But so now they're coming down. So the one half is gone, the other half they're not sure about the power because we also have the electric door opener is on the same side, so we don't want to accidentally shut that off. So we're not sure how the power to the gate is wired and if it's a direct wire. So, and those were gonna come down in the renovation anyway, so it's just happening a little sooner. And then I hired a page today, so I'm very excited. So, Cecilia Kinoki. So she's in high school. She is not quite 16 yet. She'll be 16 in January, so she won't be able to work the later shifts. But we're fully staffed. We've got enough coverage in November, and my college student should be coming back in mid-December, so I think we'll be okay. And then when she has her birthday in January, then she'll be able to work until 8 o'clock at night. So, but we still do have one open position. So.
What's her name?
Cecilia Kinoki.
Okay.
Been a library user for a long time in her life. Her parents and her grandparents both use the library too, so excellent. And I think that's all I have to add right now.
All right.
Disc golf kits sound like a great idea.
I thought so too, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that.
I think that's the sort of thing with the library things that
Yes.
we're pushing for.
Yep.
I did attend one of Linda's story times. I don't know if she said
Oh,
anything.
no, she didn't say
Because
anything.
my little nephew, Katie my sister was bringing both two kids, her grandchild and our nieces. And so I came to help her and it was delightful. It was delightful. I was just so, I loved it. So.
Oh, and we had our slightly spooky program Friday night, and they had just over 90 attendees
Wow.
for it. So that's
That's
better than last year was the
great.
first year we did it, and we had over 70. So increased a little bit.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move to review payments of October 2023 invoices.
I'm still trying to figure this out. So when you say the library invoices and then you say what was paid, they combine them into like one check? Is it like Baker and Taylor will have a whole list tip here, but then Baker and Taylor gets a check or two down?
Right.
Okay,
And they don't match up month to month, because the cities are
Oh.
usually lagging
okay.
a month, so they're not gonna match. I could maybe match them up knowing, but it helps, I still wanna type it up, like I like
Yeah.
having my list of typed up things, so, yeah.
What did the WLA train?
WLA training. We just had the conference, so the WLA conference, and this one is actually from the spring conference, yet that had to be paid, so.
So it's
Really?
it's kind of conference, not
Right.
a training workshop or something.
No,
It just comes
no,
out of that.
that's
account.
the line item, yeah. Mhm.
Well, I can see why this isn't gonna match up if they're paying a spring one now.
Well, that was on me, because I just
Oh,
hadn't,
okay.
I forgot to submit it. But now you'll see the fall ones coming through
Yeah.
also. And we did get, Ben just found out today that he did get a $280 scholarship to cover his cost of going to the conference
Oh,
last week.
nice.
So he went for a
Nice.
day, so basically his cost is
Way to
covered,
go.
so. Yeah, my cost, this $300 bill had actually been covered for me earlier. I'd gotten a scholarship for the spring conference,
When are you becoming president?
January 1st.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, any questions, comments on those, concerns? Confusions? All right, we're gonna move on to discussing the adoption of the City of Ripon credit card policy.
So I just thought the board should see it before I signed it. So
Did you have any issues with it?
I don't think so, no. I mean, and I've had a city credit card for a long time, so they just haven't had any policy
Oh,
governing it,
gotcha.
so. I mean, when we're doing all this in practice and you see the credit card log that gets submitted to Naomi every month, that goes in the board packet too, so.
All right, any items of note, concerns, questions on that? Looks pretty typical. I'm sure Lud has gone over it with a fine tooth.
Otherwise, I think the board should make a motion and adopt it, just that they'll follow it.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
I move that we adopt the policy, this draft of the city's credit card policy.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Okey dokey, we'll move to discuss proposal from Camera Casino.
To the what?
From
The-
Camera
the-
Casino.
Oh, that was the other email.
Yes. Well, I think this was in the original one.
The attachments, Ripon, Nash, Silver Creek, and Storytime Room
Right.
projectors.
Right. Not the bold one.
Oh, which one is it?
In the board packet. Rip,
With
Nash, Silver
like-
Creek, yeah.
With all the attachments. So this is just the switcheroo of.
So this is to switch around the projectors, so I can't remember if I think this one was donated also, and the one in the Storytime Room was, the digital projector was donated. So originally we had this projector, and when we started showing films, we were showing them in the Silver Creek room, and we had some people comment that especially like closer to the summer, it's very bright in here, and it's a big room, so we didn't have the sound system yet, and it was hard here. So that, okay, Storytime Room is brand new, it's only being used for story time, it's sitting empty most of the time. Let's put a projector in there, and then we can show movies in there, it'll be nice and dark, and we've got more surround sound, so we installed it in there. So that's what we had been doing, and then COVID came, and we switched the Storytime Room to the romper room, and now we want that available more hours, and we don't want to show movies in there, because we're still doing our Monday matinees, and now we're also showing movies a few times a month to Diverse Options group when they come in. So Linda, Ben, Susie, and I sat down and just kind of had a discussion about what the meeting rooms, what we need meeting room use for, because we're seeing increases in meeting rooms and we've loosened up our policy, and what's the best, what makes the most sense, because Storytime had moved out to the Nash room, and then it had all the Storytime chairs and the things set up in the corner. So we decided that we would move Storytime back into the romper room, and so the romper room is only for Storytime and romper, and we are not having that as public meeting, because that was kind of our over, if these two were booked, then we put people in there, so it's just gonna be those things. And this was coming after we had more romper room usage this summer unexpectedly because of the air quality issues. So we weren't expecting that, in the winter it starts to get a lot used, but there were a lot of people here this summer also. So this means movies are either gonna be in here or the Nash room. When Diverse Options come, like, people prefer the Nash room, it's a smaller room, it's a little cozier. I don't think there's as many lighting issues with the windows. So the suggestion is still to keep because this is used for meetings and we have more people using the meeting hall now. So the digital camera, the digital projector in the Storytime room is the nice and newer one. So to move that one to here, since it's a bigger room and it'll be better quality, to move this one into the ceiling in the Nash room. So that's what the proposal is for. And this is the company that did the original installations on both of them. So.
And it was, I can't find it.
Final
It was
tally is like
$400.
4,400.
Right, right.
Do you have an idea of timeline for when you're able to do this?
No, we hope
Okay.
sooner rather than later, once it's approved.
Yeah.
I know it's, they've said they were very busy and it was
Yeah.
hard to get a quote
Yeah.
from them,
Okay.
so.
Oh, there. Is that money that you found somewhere? I mean,
So there had been a change in health insurance, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there.
that's something we need to vote on?
The 43
Yes.
numbers, you're final, right?
Right, right.
43,906.
Okay, so they're going to install some new cabling and stuff?
In the next room, so they'll take the one out of the story time room, that one will move here, and they do need to fix some wiring down over there that's gotten loose. This one will move to the Nash room, that will be a brand new installation.
Okay,
And that should position you for the future, I mean,
Right.
yeah.
You don't need us to, like, increase the amount for any unforeseen
No.
overages? Okay.
No, because this should still be good.
I move to accept the proposal of $4,390.06 for the Nash Silver Creek Storytime Room projectors.
Anybody want to say?
Second,
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Any abstain? All right. We're gonna go to receiving an update on the strategic planning process.
Sure, 2 weeks ago, Desiree, Becky, Linda, and Robin and I met with Wills, so with Laura Day Moore and Kiesewetter, however you say her name, to discuss the final report. They went through sort of a modeling process of how to strategize the process of what to do first, what kinds of things to prioritize. So that's something that, because it's sort of day-to-day work, that Desiree and her staff are going to undertake, and they'll hopefully have a proposal for us, have the process sort of mapped out by the November meeting. So we inserted the language that we talked about last month, that we all came up with and approved, and that's where we stand at the moment.
you feel good about it?
So, do you have any suggestions for me, Desiree, about the,
No.
okay?
No. So, yeah, so I think it's just to staff now to look at what the goals and objectives are and to prioritize and say which of these we can do within the next year, which it might take a little longer, and what are the priorities, and then bring that to the board.
Okay.
I think we're pleased with Will's work. I mean, I have had no issue. Everybody's feeling good about it. Cool. All right, we're gonna move to receiving an update on the 2024 budget.
And I haven't heard anything, Doug, do you have any?
I thought they increased a little bit.
Okay.
I thought they gave the library a little bit of bump up.
Nice.
I believe they did. That's a lot.
I mean, just what we requested.
Well, I'll have to find my,
Do we know when like the final word will be shared with us?
we set it, I believe, for November, and again, I have to look that up.
That's usually the public hearing.
The
Okay.
public hearing, I'm looking here, hold on.
That's when you would vote to adopt?
Yeah,
Right.
let's see here, I have the slides. Did Adam not show you the slides?
No.
Oh, well, I have them here. Let's see what it said. Library fund, I believe was gonna go up $4,000.
That's what we requested.
Yeah, I believe that's up.
Okay.
Okay.
$4,002.
Yep.
He said that, he said I would
Okay.
would like to increase it, so, okay?
All right,
Yeah, so it's gonna be, is it 452, 346
Okay.
from the city, so it's up a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yep.
So, and we know that health insurance
Right.
has gone up, but the surcharge has dropped, so they kind of balance out a little. It's down to titch, I think, with the surcharge lowered.
Right.
So,
Unfortunately, it's an increase for staff, though. It was about, for the family plan, it was about a $35 a month increase.
right,
And they had been under the
Oh.
impression that because the surcharge went from a 40% surcharge the first year down to a 20% surcharge, they expected to have a decrease.
yeah, no,
But-
not
Of
today.
their portion.
Yes, but unfortunately, like the one plan went up 10% and the other plan of the two options from last year went up 18%. And then the city, per state statute, can only pay 88%. And so the city can't pay any more than what it's doing, so despite the surcharge going down 20%, staff and the family plan are still paying $35 more a month next year.
Which is something, but
Right.
not extremely devastating, hopefully, right?
all right, we will move to discussing the increase of page wages.
So we hired 2 pages this summer and both have resigned. Both are adults working full-time, they both had brand new full-time jobs. And didn't realize how much time a new job takes. We had also taken on this job, so just cannot continue. One has very small children, the other one's in grad school, so they don't have time to be having a second job. So we've been advertising and we had 2 applicants. I hired the one that I interviewed, the other one never responded to a request for an interview. So we still have 1 opening and have had 0 applicants in the last month beyond the one. So Lauren and I were just kind of spitballing, where are we at for wages? So, pages are starting at $9.75 an hour. So, which I guess is similar to what McDonald's is starting at, but they increase quickly at McDonald's.
Oh.
So Quick Trip, I think, is 15. I mean, it's different caliber work, but.
Right.
So 2,000 for the year for projected what you have.
Right, to raise it. And that's to give all of the pages $1 an hour increase. because
Okay, and
everybody
thank
will
you,
move up.
because you certainly
Right.
weren't gonna jump the starting wage, but yeah.
Right. I mean, it's been dire the last several times. So when I advertised for this one, maybe it was because in the summer, we did get a few more applicants than we had in the past, but none of them were of the higher caliber. I mean, the 2 that I interviewed ended up being the only 2 I would have hired. I wouldn't have felt comfortable hiring the other ones. And the previous 2 times before that one I hired, the only people that I interviewed were the ones we hired, and we hardly got any applicants a few of those times, so.
So, and I would guess you spend a considerable amount of time training them, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So
mean,
someone
it takes
else
about a
has
month
to
to
do that,
train.
so you're taking their time to train
Right.
these people
Yeah,
and then
resources.
have them only stay less than a year. And then, yeah,
Right.
it just seems like, if it works, and I'm thinking there's reason to think it would, to retain, I guess. And maybe to retain the ones you have,
Right.
that you already like.
I mean, but there's no rhyme or reason, to, hiring adults, you think like, oh, they're not high schoolers, it's not like they're gonna get to be seniors and they're going off to college, and, and I've hired somebody as a sophomore that I was like, oh, good, we'll have her for 3 years, and she left a year later, so there's really no rhyme or reason to say how long people will stay or not, and then we have Jill, who's been here for over 10 years, and Myra was over 10 years before she resigned, so
I
it's hard to tell.
personally think it's worth that too for what they do and what you expect them to do.
So
Yes, they
this
are
is-
sort of a term.
you're raising it from what to what? 975 to what?
1075,
1075.
so that's a $2,000 impact.
I mean, they
budget.
are the front-facing piece,
Mhm.
one of, they're often the person that's greeted or working with the public, so it's very
What-
important that. we get
What would
good-
the ramifications be if we wanted to go higher? Is that a trickle up effect then, because everybody else would need to be bumped up?
No, so I think our entry level now for any of the assistant positions is 1787
Okay.
is where we're at for that, so there's a little bit of wiggle room between that.
I mean, I don't know, I would advocate more, cause $10 an hour is like, I think people would look at that and think it's not, literally doesn't pay for me to be there, but I understand that it's a huge financial hit for us, so I guess we can start at 10.
Yeah, I wonder if we could do this and then reevaluate it in a year and see how many we've lost or what the reasons are that we lost them again and reevaluate.
Well, or if we have to hire,
Right.
how's the hiring
Right.
going, so.
Did you check with anybody else at WLA this weekend?
No, I didn't. I don't know how many other libraries hire high school students. I think Oshkosh does. Nina does not. Nina had not hired, like, since I've been there, so for 20 years, they only hire adults.
Hmm.
You know, and I've thought about that, like, do we go to just doing that so that they all are working the circ desk and shelving, but it just seems like it's easier to split the tasks up, so.
I like that we give the chance to
Right, and I
high
do like
school.
having, I mean, that was how I got my start in libraries, I
Right.
worked as a high school senior.
Right, a
so-
lot of, I watch a lot of pages come through here and they really learn and grow in that
Right.
position. So it's just a good thing.
I mean, I will say that when I see other library assistant jobs at small libraries, like, they are not paying anywhere near, like, some are starting at $10 an hour for much more responsibility,
Yeah.
building responsibility, so this would be good pay for library land, for sure.
Okay, do we, if we all are tending to agree, we want to vote, right? Does anybody have any other issues, comments, concerns before possibly making a
I
motion?
will be abstaining.
Oh, yes,
Do you have a relative working there?
he does,
There you go.
so yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I move to raise the entry wage for Page to $10.75
And raise the other pages.
and raise the other pages accordingly.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Do we have enough though then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Any opposed? We've got Doug abstaining. All right, excellent. Okay, we're gonna move on to discussing the 2023 Giving Tuesday campaign and celebration.
which is the most recent
Yes.
email.
Yep.
I like them compared to what I've seen in the past. They're shorter and
Mhm.
more to the point. I really like them. I like them both.
And we
but
still need to work on formatting and getting this.
I think I like Ben's a little better if you're okay with Ben.
That's okay. I was really trying to write it like patterned after a couple of sample letters that I was looking at the time. And there's also, another thing that it's said to take into consideration that you can run it in Microsoft Word, but it's the reading level of the document. And like they're aiming like, they said ideally like a 5th grade reading
Yeah, I
level.
thought it
So
was
this reads a little
6.
higher. Yeah, this is about 6.5 is what it scores out as, but.
Ben's is nice and conversational.
Uh-huh.
Did Lauren or Doug take a look at it? So in the minutes, you said,
Right, no, they did not get back to me with.
Oh, well, because you said we discussed it tonight.
okay,
Right. And I looked at it, and let me pull it up here. Just-
So Linda has suggested, now that we have the numbers, to add something about, and I still need to do math as to where we are with the community foundation because
I still think they're
Yeah.
both a little bit wordy, but I like Ben's a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime you can throw relevant figures in there that are like quick bites for
Right.
people to digest.
So-
And maybe lower down, not again, because they may not get that far. I'm a little concerned about I want that last line to be in there, but I'm a little concerned they may not get to it. If you've already given, there's nothing like getting a letter when you've already given and you wanna know why they're sending you a letter again. You know what I mean? And this is a very nice way to put it, but I'm not sure it should be at the bottom.
Well, that's what they said though. So
Did
they
they?
look at the top, they look at the bottom, they'll read the PS,
Oh,
and
okay.
then they go to the bullet points.
Okay,
so think of the top, I think the first 3 set lines are weak. I think you
Okay.
need to hit them much harder earlier on.
Okay.
It's too chatty and vague. But I also don't think that this format is this forum right here is the place to edit.
Right, no, I
Everyone's
think they're
groups,
good. You
no
two,
worries.
you guys just take care of it, yeah. We like the idea.
Can we do an image?
I do a what?
An image,
Like how?
an image of the
Picture.
Oh,
sketch.
sure, oh, yeah. Mhm.
Can you fit that in here somehow?
Yeah, I could put it by the bullet points.
Yeah, but you know
Like
the top,
the
right?
rendering you're talking about?
Boom. This is what we're asking.
The rendering, yeah,
Take the
okay.
library board out and put a picture in. Very nice.
I mean, here's a question. Do we want to think about a different format? Do we want something more graphic, like a postcard? that
Well, that's the second
contains-
step, so this is the Giving Tuesday, and this is kind of going, cause Giving Tuesday has never gotten any big donors, it's always gotten the little $50, the $100 donors. So asking them for $125 is a little bit of a step up, so that's why it's being suggested. But Andy had suggested doing a postcard like out to the zip code,
Yeah,
so I feel like that's the follow-up, like do this in, like now, and then follow up either in December or January with a postcard to the zip code area,
So the
so.
possibilities, you can do like a QR code, right, for donations,
Yeah.
so you don't have to do the envelope.
So, I mean, and we can add one here, I will mention that Mandy Kimes is talking for Dickens about, she would like to have like Dickens of a cause. And that this will be the inaugural year and the library will be the cause, so, and it will have a Q, so in that, the Friends have a Square account, so the QR code is just gonna go to their Square account and people can either pick an amount or type in a custom one, so.
Okay.
I mean, I can put my, I'll have to see. I know there's just issues because like I'm already attached to one account and with my financial, I think the PayPal account, so I'll have to see if we can get it. Like if we want donations to go to us or to the Friends, but if they're to the front, like then explaining like, well, it's going to the Friends account, like am I, like that they're a fiscal agent and
Sure.
so, and I don't know how much we could customize the Square page, like if we could add, like, the Friends or the fiscal agent, all money goes to the renovation project or something. So I think it says it's small, but it's not as nice and big as I would like it to be.
Because this
So-
doesn't go to the Friends, right?
Well, this, they're being directed to the OACF, directly
Okay.
to our renovation fund, so. Right.
okay,
Yeah, and I think, and so we've had like a full page donor form, and this year we're gonna cut it down to like just envelope size for the donor form. So it's not a big lengthy thing to fill out, it'd be smaller. And then the envelopes, so we're gonna do a mail merge, so all the envelopes, instead of hand addressing them, they'll all be printed, but we're gonna put a little birthday cake on the outside of the envelope to make it more attractive. That says celebrate with us on the cake.
So this is not a form of where they'll designate this is all going to renovation this year.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's
Keep
no
it
other
simple, right.
designations this year, it's all for the renovation project. Yeah, and it'll be customized because we're doing the mail merge, so that it'll be their actual name instead of in the past, it's just been Dear Library Patron or Library Supporter. So they'll all be customized.
all right, you wanna work on judging it
Yeah.
offline?
Yeah.
Or out of the meeting?
Yep.
All right, any other questions on that? Okay, we're gonna discuss the renovation project.
So I met with Alex last week, Thursday, at the WLA conference. So these are the revised numbers, and she included the specific details from both. So the good news is that it's not as much work as they thought it would be, because like the window build outs are already there, and so that makes it easier. You know, they're not really knocking down any walls, they're adding walls, so. So originally she had a different scheme, she had contingency in there, and I said, but the board, she only had 10%, and I knew the board had talked about having 15%. They do have, so line 11, that's escalation, so that's to cover inflationary costs of materials that go up between now and when we go out to bid and have construction done. So not only do they have the contingency in case there's a problem, you know, like they find lead or something, but there also is the escalation that will cover the contingency, that will cover inflation costs, so.
This does or doesn't include that front entryway?
It does.
It does, okay. Whew, nice.
Yes, so it's not, I mean, we had projected 800,000 with the contingency, so it is a cost that gone up, so.
So I don't understand, so it's 395 plus the 860, or what were the two?
No, 395 is specifically bold for a construction company, so it's split into what the two companies would do, so they would take care of the actual building, you know, renovation of the restrooms and the HVAC and things like that. Engberg Anderson, right now, like, they or somebody else, whoever we hire, will be taking care of like the carpeting and the furniture and the shelving and all of that stuff.
So do we have that one on here?
So should the 395?
395 is the line one on the summary,
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay,
so
where's the summary, did I miss? it?
So we need
it's
a,
the same document.
so we'll need to come up with about $860,000
Right, plus the board wants a contingency
of,
of the 15%.
so we're gonna need close to $1 million.
Right.
And how short are we at this point?
I think less than 200,000, but it, you know, we have pledges though too, so that's the thing, like about 50,000 is out in pledges that won't be, you know, that'll be collected over the next 3 to 4 years.
So we'll,
So I need to crunch the numbers and see exactly where we're at.
so, but we're still short a couple $100,000 at least. And well, those pledges I'm sure will be paid.
Right.
We'll need the money.
Really high percentage, will we?
Right.
We'll need the money now, if we
Right.
start now, so we'll have to cover that and.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right. All right, well, let's keep moving forward with it, we're further along than we were before.
So, just, this is an aside, when did that 100 Extraordinary Women start?
For removal of
It was-
funds or for
The
auto
It was
debt?
about a year ago.
Thank you, because I just got a second installment taken out, and I'm like,
Yes,
whoa!
so you
Okay,
would have been one of
okay.
the first ones
Right,
a
okay.
year ago. So we will start collecting a little bit more, because
Yeah.
those people that are on the 5-year plan and not the monthly
Okay.
plan, their second one.
Second year will be.
And we
coming.
still are accepting names on the 100 Extraordinary Women, and we had somebody email today and said that she didn't have funds at the time that we ran the campaign originally, but was wondering if she could still donate, she had money now to do that, so. Yep,
Okay.
so we are still accepting names, and we may put out a little publicity, like, just, you know, if you're looking for a Christmas
So,
present.
At some point, do we want to show the thermometer and where we are out front?
Yes,
Okay.
so I need to crunch the numbers, we need to get the fund set up at the community foundation, so I know exactly how much we have in the
Okay.
fund, and then,
Because
yes,
as you
and
get
then I want
closer, I think
to,
people are kind
Right.
of feeling like, oh, I could help them get over this,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, and I think there are still a few places, a few families that we need to approach about a little bigger gifts in the $10,000 range, and also a few companies to approach also, so.
There was a Green Lake company though, I saw, we gave, right, somebody from Green Lake,
The bar.
Flash?
No.
No,
No, I
Adams Road.
tried.
Yeah, that was interesting.
well, they do a big fundraiser every year, so they raise $20,000, they do a one-day fundraiser, and they get raffle baskets and auctions and stuff, and so they give out $500 to several organizations, so all the libraries in the area, churches,
Wow, cool.
yeah, historical society, it was a lot of groups, yeah.
But we didn't approach other Green Lake companies specifically then, I was thinking like Flash, they give a lot.
Flash was approached.
Okay.
yeah, they were.
Thank you.
Trust us, big word. How about some of the newer ones here, Ripon, MSI? They took up the old Smuckers plan?
I don't have any contacts, I'm not
Yeah.
sure about who would even be the right person.
Admin, no.
Right. I'm hoping, so our new board person is very enthusiastic, and I'm hoping that she will join the fundraising committee and kind of help reinvigorate it, so. and-
She had a prior
did you-
commitment tonight, but
Have you had a conversation with her?
she and I are meeting on the
Okay.
9th, yeah,
Okay.
next week.
Yeah, and just maybe somebody being new to town, but, you know, just ask, so. But yeah, I think the fundraising committee needs to get going and we need to kind of get some, like, see who wants to stay on it and then get some new members if people wanna drop off. So, and kind of reinvigorate and say, this is where we're at, this is how much we need, you know, let's get going so we can go out to bid this spring, so.
All right, any more discussion on the renovation project? All right, we're gonna set the date and time for the next board meeting, which is Tuesday, November 28th at 5 p.m. Please be sure you get your agenda topics to Desiree
A little
Monday
early again,
before
because it's
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah. So the
Monday
board
the
pack will
20th.
go out by Wednesday, so.
All right,